Jeshua, the early years, the divine feminine. Now we may begin. And indeed it is with great joy and also with honor that I come forth in this hour to share with you, to abide with you, to remind you of all that is true within you. I come forth to abide with you on this very special occasion, to speak of the heart of that which is called the Goddess, to speak of the heart of that which is called Christ, to speak of the heart of that which is called Divine Mother, to speak of the heart of that which is called Abba, Father. I come forth, then, in this auspicious hour, as you abide together in a place that speaks to the heart through the gentleness of the waves, through the vibration that is felt on the breath of the wind, through the sweetness that pervades the air and many beautiful flowers. I come forth to abide with you, as you have chosen to come together as seemingly a small group of women upon a tiny speck of dust hurtling itself through space, seemingly so separated from all life. And yet I say unto you, you have not come together by accident. You have come together because you have well recognized that there is a place within each and every one of you, a certain quality of vibration, a certain aspect of the soul itself that you share in common. Well does it transcend the physicality of the body that you would know as woman, and yet it is a vibration that is shared through all those who are currently choosing to incarnate, which simply means to bring into expression form. To incarnate in the very particular and specific vibration of the feminine body. And to embody the feminine body is indeed to participate in a certain strand or vibration of consciousness that has its own unique feature. Again, we speak here not of the body itself, for the body is merely the effect of the choice that the soul has made to embody a certain frequency of the soul. That frequency can be awakened, what you might call tapped into. It can be tapped into by those choosing the frequency or the strand of consciousness that brings forth the male body. But it is much more easily accessed, it is much more constant for those who have chosen in this incarnation to manifest as women. Why then is this important? For there is a dawning of a new age in which a certain frequency begins to be again primary, as it once was upon the earth plane itself. We're not speaking here of right or wrong, good or bad. We're not here to evoke your beliefs that you have been the victim of some trauma that is causing imbalance on the planet at all. For the world you see is the world of dream. You then have chosen to participate within that dream, and you have chosen to come forth within your own particular culture, your own particular time frame, in the form of woman, to present yourself with the unique challenge of overcoming an ancient perception which currently pervades human consciousness. And that perception is merely that it is the masculine strand that holds the highest value, that must be placed in a role of primacy for decision-making, for running governments and business, even for running what is called the household. And have you not come forth to discover that the power of the Divine Mother, the power of Abba, the power of the Christ, the power of the Goddess, these are just various names for the same thing, is indeed present in its fullness within the strand held deeply within the soul that expresses itself right down to the cells of the body in the image of woman. Beloved friends, I have spoken before and I will speak again, that for Christ to truly be birthed into the world woman, the collectivity of woman, will need to step forth and declare their commitment to again birthing forth the Divine Mother, the Christ, to embody that frequency, and not standing back in the shadows, but stepping forward with boldness and with power to reclaim what appears to be lost, to manifest and demonstrate that which is indeed present in all beings, whether they be of male or female form. The time is at hand. The thought that I've just shared with you has already been sent out upon the cosmic airwaves, so to speak, to all who are currently embodied in feminine form. It is indeed time to begin to create a more noticeable expression of the joining together of womanhood that expresses, and that is devoted to and holds sacred the frequency of the Divine Mother, the frequency of compassion, the frequencies of service that truly impacts the planet through the extension of love, through the capacity to feel deeply, through the willingness to trust the wisdom of the heart, to trust the wisdom of feeling over the supremacy of mere logic or rationality. Therefore, beloved friends, look around at the seemingly small group gathered in a location that represents a reflection of a time when humankind, lived in harmony with all the earth, the water and the clouds and the creatures thereof, and did not sense any separation between self and other, between dolphin and woman, between cloud and man, when there is recognition that play and that laughter and that the growing of flowers, the giving of gifts, the singing of songs and the making of music held supremacy over the organization of armies, the creation of corporations through which the consciousness that has forgotten the feminine seeks to find dominion over the world and of the earth. Look then around your seemingly small circle, for each of you has chosen as an infinite soul to choose this time frame, to choose this incarnation, to make a decision, to take on the embodiment of the feminine form, and yet not to succumb to the vibrational pattern of what you call the patriarchy. Nothing negative here about it, and you'll need to let that go through forgiveness, but simply to recognize that a neutral pair of energies has been in balance for a while, and that a certain segment of the dream has played itself out, and that is all, no reason to make a judgment. Is it not time, then, for each and every one of you to truly take ownership of your womanhood by taking ownership of your divinity? Is it not time to bring forth your power by creating a matrix through which woman can be attracted to join with you in increasing numbers? All of them dedicated to, shall we say, no longer succumbing, no longer walking next to the patriarchal consciousness, whether it shows up in a male body or female body, but rather to begin to find ways to creatively express what you know to be true. Life is sacred. War has never brought peace. There is no need for dominion over the earth, but there is every need to live in harmony with the earth, as though the human body and the blade of grass are one thing, and each needs to be wholly respected. Is it not time to recognize that every child upon your planet cries out to be embraced by the Divine Mother, not the patriarchal mindset that would teach fear and the need for dominion? Is it not time, beloved friends, to arise and truly incarnate creativity, beautifully, playfully, powerful, that which Divine Mother is? Now in truth, the Divine Mother and the Christed consciousness are one and the same, for only where wholeness has been decided for within the depth of your own heart and mind can you truly realize who Christ is and what the Divine Mother represents. It is time, beloved friends, for women to begin to express awakened consciousness by assuming the position of authority upon the planet. Could that be done? Oh yes, rest assured that if 50 million of your women went to your capital and simply sat down and said, "I'm sorry, we will no longer allow any legislation that supports the instruments of war," you would quickly be joined by another 50 million. Many of them would be male in form who would say, "Yes, it's about time." The point we are seeking to make here in this transition that must come upon the plane of the earth, it is through the form of womanhood that such a change will need to be made. And why? Simply because the patriarchy, which has been in the ascendancy for so long, is identified as being one and the same as the male form. Therefore, even the male who has awakened the female and made the two within himself as one is still viewed by the world as an expression of the patriarchy, and the feminine consciousness of the Christed mind is not necessarily noticed or listened to. Rest assured, then, if one of you would arise and truly begin to serve as a channel for me, it would get much more press, much more attention than the many channels who are in male form who perform this service for me. Therefore, look not outside yourself for the power or the means to heal the things of time and space, to heal the things of your world. Look well into the mirror and ask yourself only this: am I willing, as a divine spirit, to accept what I have set in motion, and to no longer succumb to the perception that there is an energy outside of femininity that must still be placed on the seat of primacy? Is it not time for womanhood to claim what they know to be true? There's never been anything real but love. Nothing holds a higher value than compassion and nurturance for all life. And to begin to speak loudly, to live powerfully, and to make an impact, to begin to ask other women to join with you. Is it not time to stop jabbering over the back fence and rather to take time in your hands and to impact the world by being in perfect attunement to the Divine Mother which you have chosen to incarnate, and to be a physical representative thereof? Indeed, beloved friends, while yes, you have chosen to come and gather in this most beautiful location of yours, to play together, to dance together, to cry together, to laugh together, to swim together with the creatures who know you and love you, rest assured you're also called by a thought that has been sent out as a thread of light to all of womanhood, that it is time to arise, to no longer believe that you can only arise if a patriarchy allows you to arise, that it is no longer necessary to wait to see if someone gives you permission to gather and become powerful. It is indeed time for womanhood to step to the forefront of the rebirthing of the new age. Rest assured, by doing so, there will be many in the male form who will very quickly also begin to complete the process of reintegrating the feminine into their own consciousness. There are many what you would call men on your planet who are still waiting for mom to take charge. And what does that mean? Not their earthly mother, their divine mother, whom they know their physical mother to be a symbol of. Therefore, I come forth in this short message to ask you to take time together, to look at the obstacles, the fear, the pervasive places in your consciousness where yet you believe that a patriarchal consciousness is still your authority and is still the authority of the world. Look not to see who sits in the seats of your government. Remember, the power is not out there unless you give it away. What then can you do in your communities to be the ones who arise and cause womanhood to yourself? How can you begin to form those groups that can begin to make impacts in your own communities in ways that have never been before? With language filled with power that will no longer tolerate a starving child upon the streets, that will no longer tolerate what you call the weapons of destruction in the hands of a teenager, that will no longer tolerate excuses for the waste of money on the things of war that could be used to nurture and awaken a child. Is it not time to assume responsibility for your own decision to incarnate as woman, the embodiment of the Divine Mother? Will you then stretch your hearts open wide and find ways that you can nurture and embrace creation, even as the Divine Mother embraces you? Beloved friends, though once I came in the form of a man, understand well that I did so simply because in that time frame, without the proper, what you call, plumbing of the body, I would never have been listened to. In my simple gospel that there is only love and only love is real, that you are one with God, would never have been heard or remembered. And the time Jeshua in some feminine form would not have survived the 33 years of my life. And in fact, though I would have performed many miracles even in feminine form, I would hardly have come to have been known outside my little village. That's just the truth of the time frame. And yet the message I brought is the message of the Divine Mother. It is the message, only love holds any value. Only life is sacred, not power, not control, and certainly not fear. Therefore, I come to ask you if you are now willing to begin to look more deeply, to playfully see what you can create together, what you can create in your communities to bring forth the gentleness of the Christed consciousness through feminine form, so the world, who still believes that bodies are real, can look upon you and remember, that's the way it is supposed to be upon this gentle and beautiful earth. Are you willing to give up the value you have placed upon patriarchal consciousness? Are you willing to be brazen enough to invite your sisters to join you in the highest vision possible throughout the domains of creation? Are you willing to do in your time frame what I was willing to do in mine? To look into your consciousness and not allow any part of it to be shaped by ideas that pervade the air of the patriarchal culture in which you live. Indeed, the time is at hand, and the cry has gone out. Think not, then, it is by accident that you gather in a little house on one little corner of a small island, for that island represents the very fire and power of a strong feminine consciousness. Tap into that power. Drink it into yourself. Create a ritual in which you open the frequencies of the soul to the goddess of the island that has birthed the very island upon which you sit. Awaken that passion and that fire within your own beingness, and fear it not. And then decide. Look well within your heart, and see if what I have told you is true. There is a part of you that remembers as the soul why you have taken birth in feminine form. There is a part of you that knows that the time is at hand. Look well, then, and see for yourself if this truth is not etched in the depth of your heart, and of your mind, and your soul, and verily of the body itself. The body is but a communication device. Will you then declare the truth that is true always, and be there for the embodiment of the Divine Mother for whom all things have come forth? And above all, rejoice with one another. Play with one another, love you one another, even as the Mother has first loved you, as she has loved all of us. And with that, beloved friends, though the message be short, rest assured, you could say there is much within the parameters of the beginning and the end. Know then that I dance with you. Know well that I swim with you. Know that I will be with you in your celebration of this short time together. For wherever hearts have chosen to come together to remember the truth, to celebrate the truth, the embodiment of the truth, and to release all things unlike the truth, where any such gather in my name, I am with you. And my name is not Jeshua, as yours is not your surname. My name is Love, and so is yours. Be you therefore at peace, beloved and holy sisters of the heart of Christ, the beloved of the Divine Mother. Be you therefore at peace, and play well. Do what you call the pulling out of all the stops, and know that you are never alone, and all powers under heaven and earth is with you now. Go then in peace, and thank you for allowing one who once came in male form to participate in your circle. It is indeed an honor. Amen. So ends the Divine Feminine.